Again, welcome to CS 102, Introduction to Programming Using Java. This lab will cover Chapter 5 of our course textbook. Our main objective is to solve two problems, again, using the Java conditioners and loops, which is the topic we cover in Chapter 5, and we discuss, again, the theory behind Java selection and also repetition control structures. So our main objective here, again, we are going to solve two problems. And the first problem said, we should design and implement an application that stimulates a simple slot machine in which three numbers between 0 and 9 are randomly selected and printed side by side. So this means we are going to generate three numbers randomly, and that will be our input. When we generate the number, we are going to print it first. Then next, we are going to print an appropriate statement if all the three numbers are the same. So we are going to use again the if selection statement to check if the three numbers that were generated randomly are the same. Then we print a statement that they are the same. Or if two of the numbers are the same, then we're going to print a statement. Then we have to continue playing the game until the user chooses to stop. So this is where we have to use a loop. So again, our file name is simpleslot.java because our main class again is a simple slot. Here we need to get an input. So we import the scanner class. So we have the import java.util.scanner. Now we have our main method. Inside our main method, we declare a variable named slot1, slot2, slot3. So this is the three variables that we are going to generate the three random numbers and store it. Then we have a constant variable named digits, and we assign 10 to it. So anytime we use the variable digits, we are representing the 10. Then we declare another variable named again. Data type is a string. Next, we create our scanner object. So we have scanner, scan equal to new scanner system.in. System.in means we are going to get the input from our keyboard. Now we assign a character or a string y to the variable again. And then we are going to use it to check if user enter y. So the statement again here, we have our while loop. So this is our loop now. So the statement here say again dot equals ignore case. Now equals ignore case is a special method in the string class. And what it does is that it's going to return true if we compare two cases and they are the same. I mean, we compare two characters. Here they say we should ignore the case. So which means if the y is uppercase or lowercase, they are the same. So the goal here means that if user enter y, we can play the game. If user enter any character, let's say n or any character, this means the condition here will be false. So we know that in a while loop or any loop, when a condition is false, the loop will stop. So here we are assuming user enter y first. So we say, okay, the content of again variable is y. So y is equal to y, yes. And here we have again ignores, which we ignore the cases. So equals ignore case means uppercase or lowercase is fine. So next we generate our three inputs. The first is slot 1, slot 2, slot 3 variables. Here, remember, as we said earlier, math.random will generate any random numbers from 0.001 all the way to 0.999. So which means the number we generate here will be a decimal number. Now, the question said we should generate a number between 0 to 9. So what we do is that we multiply any number we generate, we multiply by 10. Let's say if we generate 0.2, when we multiply by, let's say 0.25. So when we multiply by 10, it will be 2.5. Then we have to convert it to int. So that means only the 2 will come. So this means the numbers we are going to generate is from 0 point something, 0.1, or any number greater than 0. It shouldn't be negative, but less than 1. It shouldn't be exactly 1. So we can have 0.99999. 0.999, if we multiply by 10, to give us 9.999. Now, if we convert 9.999 to int, it means we are going to truncate or remove the decimal section. So the answer will be only 9. So this makes it possible for us to generate 3 numbers between 0 to 9. So math.random with empty argument will generate any value greater than 0 but less than 1. When we multiply it by 10, it will give us any value that is at least 1. Because, for example, if it generates 0.11 or 0.01, if you multiply by, again, 1, that will start from 0. But it will be 0 point something. But again, as we said, this is int. So any number we generate, we convert it to int. And that will make it possible to generate numbers from 0 to 9. So now we have our 3 numbers. According to the question, when we get our 3 values or numbers, we just have to print side by side. So the next section, we print our slot 1, slot 2, slot 3. Now the game is that we are going to check if the first number is equal to the second number, and also if the second number is equal to the third number. This is our jackpot. It means if we generate the same number 3 times, we win the lotto jackpot. But if we generate only 2 numbers that are the same, so here we say slot 1 equal to slot 2, or slot 2 equal to slot 3, or slot 1 equal to slot 3. This means if we generate any 2 numbers that are the same, then here we print we match 2. Then system.out.print, we have a statement saying we should print again, pray again, to pray again. Now here, if we enter Y, we are going to pray again. If we enter N, then we are going to stop. So when we enter Y to pray again, we are going to again, we get a system.out.print, the statement said play again. Then we have our again variable here. So we enter Y or N. Y means we go back again and start all over. Or when we enter N, we compare N with Y. No, the condition is false. So the loop will stop. So the only way to play back again or to play the game again is to enter Y. So again, we enter Y, condition is true. We generate any 3 numbers, then we print it. Then if all the numbers are the same, so here we are using the if-else statement. If all the numbers are the same, we print. Else means the numbers are not the same. But if 2 of them are the same, then we print. Then we enter N to stop or Y to continue playing. Okay, let's check the second program. So in the second program here, we are going to design and implement a program that will compare 2 test input files, line by line for equality. So this means we have 2 test files. Now, as we said in the theory, if you are trying to get an input from a test file, you must create the test file in your computer. So here, the best way again is that, for example, here we have a test file without the directory, which means the Java program and these 2 test files, they are in the same folder, the same directory. So the program will see it. So again, our file name is file contrast.java. So our main class is file contrast. This time we are going to get the input from a file. So we need to import IO package also. So since anytime we are working with a file system, the files, we always need the input-output package. Then of course we still need a scanner because we're getting the input from the file. So we have again our main method, and then we have 2 files. So we create our two objects, scanner one, scanner two. Here we have to create, each object will represent each file. So we cannot use only one object, let's say scanner one, for both two files. So here we create the object scan one is for contrast1.txt file. The scan two scanner object is for the file contrast2.txt. So here again, we declare two variables, data type string, line 1 and line 2. This is what we're going to use to check the line. Because the question said what? We have two input from a test file. We're going to check them line by line if the two items from the two test file are the same. So now we are using the while loop. If I say scan1.hasNest, I'm referring to contrast1 test file, because contrast1 test file, the scan object, scan1 is for it. Hasnest, we check if we have content or text inside the file. So hasnest is a special method that can process a file. So here we say scan1.hasNest and also scan2.hasNest. Here we are using n, so both conditions have to be true. So we say now while scan1.hasNest and scan2.hasNest, if there's nothing, there's no any test file in, for example, contrast 2, then this condition will be false. Then the while loop will stop. So again, the condition for this while loop is to make sure we have content or we have something in both two files. Okay, so if it's true, we increment the line number by 1. So here you can see we declared the line num. That will be our variable that will keep track of the line numbers in the test. So to go through the first line, we want to make it sure that it's from 0 to 1. So line num plus plus increment to 1. Then we use the scan1.next line. We are getting the content of the first line in contrast1.txt. So we get the content, we put it in line 1 variable. Then scan2 is for the contrast2.txt file. We get the content from contrast2.txt file, we put it in line 2. Now we are going to compare line 1 and line 2. If they are the same, then we keep going. Again, this is while loop. So we go through all the items. So first here we say if not line 1 equals to line 2. So here we say that if they are not the same, not. Then system.out.println, we say whatever the number is. So right now, for example, we start from 1. So it will say line 1 in file 1, the file 1, and also plus the content of the line 1. System.out.println, the line plus again whatever the line number is, it will be, if it's first again, to be line 1 in file number 2. Whatever they are, they will tell us. Now, if this condition is false, then we have to again keep going. So again, the condition here is true, then we print. If it's not true, then we keep going. So again, this program make it possible for us to check items in two files, line by line. And as we can see from the while loop, hasNest is a special method again to go through, check if there's item in the file. So scan1 again is for the first file, contrast1. So we say scan1.hasNest is n, scan2.hasNest. If these two are true, it means we have content. We have something in those two files. We haven't reached the end of the file or the file. If one of the files is empty, then this condition will be false. But if it's true, we increment the line number because we initialize the variable that will keep the line number. We initialize it to 0. So now we go through the first line and we increment. We get the item in the first line from the first file. Scan2.next line, we get the item in the first line, the second file. We put them in line 1, line 2, and then we check. Now we say that if not line 1 equals to line 2, then we print this. So if it's true, we are going to print this. If it's false, we are not going to do anything here. We keep doing the while loop because the while loop also have to be false before we stop. So we go through all the items step by step. So again, that will be the end of this lab work. We went through the 2 problems. Again, the problem we can see here, design, implement a program that will compare 2 test input files line by line for equality. Then we print any line that are not equivalent. So that's why the condition here again, we say if not line 1 equal to line 2, which means line 1 is not the same as line 2. Then we print that line. But if they are the same, we don't print. So we go through all the items. So for example, if the two test files, contrast 1, contrast 2, content is the same, the number of lines, everything is the same, it's a copy, then we are not going to print anything here because we only print here if this condition is true, which means not line 1 equal to line 2. So again, see you in the next lectures, and thank you for your time.